Welcome back to Navigating Between the Lines, you guys. My name is Maggie File, your host. We are back after a couple weeks of Navigating Between the Lines Revisited. Thank you so much for tuning into those episodes. It means a lot. And I am going to be honest with you, I'm feeling very refreshed. It's like wild what a couple weeks quote off could do for the mind. Anyway, this week I had an entirely different episode planned coming in. We've got a year of episodes, which is crazy. 52 weeks, you guys, we made it. And I was going to do this whole 1 year later thing, like the start of the podcast, what I've learned, where we're going. Follow along because I'm going to get to it next week. I would love if you hit subscribe just so we can share that together. And then I was having a conversation with another mom last week, and she was talking about the sandwich years. Have you heard of this? I've never heard this phrase before, but I immediately was like, what is she talking about? I was like, I need to know more about this. But basically, she was talking about this specific age with her kids where they're too old for babysitters and maybe some of the camps that go on every day, but they're also not exactly waking up with a full itinerary for themselves every day. Like, yeah, mom, I've got a productive and active filled schedule. Like, no, they are rolling out of bed, 9 a.m., slothing on the couch until 10, hungry, but like also a granola bar does not suffice for breakfast. If this sounds like your kids are also in this age or close to, they're asking every morning, what are we doing today? Where can we go? Can we go to Five Below? Like, I want to have this friend over, whatever. And listen, I know we are all in different kid care boats for the summer, but I feel like I know a lot of moms, and I can confidently say that the majority of them are saying the same thing this summer. Depending on the age of your kids, it is this very in-between stage where everyone needs less from you, and somehow they also still need you constantly. So of course I left the convo and I was like, okay, this is for sure a podcast. And I Googled sandwich years because duh. That's what I do. But according to the old Google, apparently that's not really what the phrase means. The sandwich generation is generally talked about adults who are raising kids while also dealing with aging parents. And I'm like, okay, yeah, well, that definitely still fits. And actually, maybe it even fits even more because I'm 40 now. Are you sick of me saying my age yet? But I keep noticing how much of the season of life feels like being right in the middle. Our kids are growing up. Our parents are getting older. And then boom, we come in trying to keep everyone alive, remember all the passwords, and also figure out who we are again. I feel like I keep undercutting the life's events I have going on right now until you're talking to someone and they're like, you have a lot going on. Like, did you hear what you just said? It's like a momentarily lapse. I'm like, oh, wrong crowd. But like, no, we are juggling more than we've ever had to juggle before. Not only is it a life, there are so many like pings coming at us every single day. If we don't quiet that outside noise, like, no wonder everyone is overstimulated all the time. And then back to school this week, it does always hit me. I get a little nostalgic this time of year and also a little disbelief that my kids are another grade older. I think about all the moms, like somebody is sending their baby to kindergarten. There's middle school, there's high school, going to college, like away for the season. And probably somebody is out there celebrating because everyone is like finally leaving the house again. I've heard that one too. All of it is valid. We are human and we're navigating these seasons together, but different. That's kind of what this whole thing's about. I actually think moms are allowed to be excited for school to start and be sad that summer's ending. It's kind of like a catch-22. I think we know by now I'm big on things coexisting. We do this thing where we think we need to pick the emotion. I should be grateful. I should soak this up. I shouldn't feel this sad. I should be more excited. But like, what if it's all of it? Think like as long as you're not complaining about everything, like it's okay for a season to be hard while also like really enjoying parts of it. Because if I'm being honest, if you've been listening, I loved a lot of this summer. there were also parts of the summer that were really hard, just juggling all the stuff, like the kids, the camps, the Uber driving. And I really needed an admin day. Like that's really what I need in my life. There were days that I wanted time to slow down and days where I'm like, okay, we definitely need the schedule back. And I just don't think there's anything wrong with recognizing and admitting that. I don't remember what we were doing. We got home from something the other day. It's probably like from the grocery store. I think there was groceries on the counter. We probably stopped for a donut too because that's what we're doing this summer. But I walked into the house and you instantly go into house mode when you walk into your home. It's like you flip the laundry, there's groceries on the counter. I walked into the bathroom and every drawer was open. There's only 3 drawers. So all 3 drawers are open. There's 2 towels on the ground. They are wet. There's toothpaste all over the sink. I was instantly like immediately on edge, right? And then William comes in. He's like trying to ask me a question. Chloe's yelling, Mom, from the other room. She's trying to ask me something. And I could feel like, when your blood pressure raises. I don't know if that happens to you. It does happen to me all the time. And William looks at me and he's like, hang on, Mom, I can see the overstimulating happening. Don't let it happen. And I laughed out loud because, it's really funny. It's so true. I feel a little bad. Like, am I always saying I'm overstimulated? I must be always being like, I'm overstimulated. And for my son to recognize and call it overstimulating, and that's a new one. But like, just pick up the fucking towels. Okay. Just please pick up the towels so I don't lose my mind. And that right there is the stage that I'm in, you guys. It doesn't happen overnight. That's for sure. They go from these like little babies who need everything from you. And then, one day you look up and they can swim on their own. They're making themselves a peanut butter and jelly and you no longer need the diaper bag to leave the house. But the emotional piece is there more than ever. I think, and this could just be my opinion, but I think the emotional piece is harder than having a newborn. It's like really, really cool to watch your kid become their own person and they have this personality or a big personality. And it's cool. Like, what's up, dude? We're friends. Like, what do you want to do today? Like, let's hang out. It's also running a thin line of knowing when I need to listen and also when I need to like step in and be like, okay, this is not how we're going to act right now. Knowing when the attitude is just an attitude and when something deeper is going on. And half the time we're figuring it out like why it's still happening. I feel like my brain is always processing these things like minute by minute. There's no little handbook that gets handed to you and says, congratulations, your child is now this age and here's exactly how it's going to go. When you walk into middle school, it's kind of like a wild game. Everybody's growing at a different rate. Some are going through puberty. Some are like not even close to puberty yet. It's like a wild time. And what's funny is I think when they were little, I think I assumed that it would get easier as they got older. Like, for sure, we don't have diapers. Everyone sleeps. Everyone can buckle themselves in the car. Like that part, yes, we made it. But I don't think people talk about how it flips into like the emotional piece so much. Now that my kids are in this phase, that's all we're talking about is like the emotional piece of it. But I don't remember when my kids were little. People were like, oh, you just wait. It's like emotion overload. Maybe I'm losing my train of thought a little bit, but while that's happening, like they're too old for me to smother them all the time, but also their brain doesn't fully function. So that's another piece at this age I think a lot of us are dealing with because you're like, okay, you're old enough to do A, B, and C, but like your brain doesn't work half the time. Mostly for boys too, more than girls. But oh my goodness. And then our parents are getting older too. I'm seeing some of my friends, they are having the conversations on how to take care of their parents right now and what the next stage is going to look like. Maybe you're going to more appointments. Maybe you're answering questions your parents used to answer for you. And maybe you're really worried about them. And maybe you've already lost a parent and watching everyone else have to navigate this stage brings up an entirely different set of feelings. I will tell you that there's no book on grief that will ever prepare you for any of it. Life and life's chapters are truly the most intertwined roads of beauty and heartache. It's like where the coexisting comes in. I don't want to get too deep here on this episode, but it is a little crazy, isn't it? Like, don't you think? Like raising the next generation while seeing the generation ahead of you. It's like seeing both directions at once. And here we are, like right in the middle of it. And I wonder if that's part of why this stage can feel so emotionally full all the time. Like, I feel like I'm always trying to be like, why am I always overstimulating? And I think it's because there's just so much going on all the time. And the emotional piece is so much more than just like a work deadline or, checking your to-do list off the list. There is tabs open constantly of emotional sectors. Is that the right word? It's just you're watching childhood disappear in real time while also becoming more aware that your own parents aren't frozen in time either. Meanwhile, you still have to get groceries and make dinner and change the laundry and make sure there's toilet paper in the house and the toothpaste. I don't know. Sometimes I think I get a little deep in a deep thinking space, and maybe that's where I'm at right now. So hopefully you're there with me. I did ask a bunch of moms how they were feeling about back to school, and nobody gave like one emotion. It was bittersweet, excited, sentimental, relieved. Where the hell did all the time go? And I think that's kind of the point. Back to school, it's like almost like a New Year's Eve. Not really, because it's not a new year, but it's definitely a new season, new schedules, new teachers, new routines, new versions of our kids. I know someone who took the first day back off from work so she could have the day to herself. And I thought, that's right, you did, because you deserve that too. I usually always try to take inventory on how I want to feel this year. I guess I'm always taking inventory on how I feel, but not just what does everybody need from me or what do we need from the schedule, but what do I need? Where do I want to spend my time this fall? Who do I want around me? What do I want to stop making harder than it needs to be? Because if you think about going back to school, we spend a lot of motherhood trying to build a community for our kids. We're going to the playgrounds, we're going to the library, we're putting them on sports teams, school camps, whatever it is. And I do think that somewhere along the way, some of us forgot that us moms need a community too. Not just like the people we text on the daily, but actual people. Hearing someone say, oh my gosh, I thought that was just me, is like the best thing you can hear as a mom, I swear. Like, because sometimes I think we think we're the only ones that are worried about it, or our kid's the only one that's struggling with this. And when you're able to come together and talk about it, it just makes you feel like more in a community. Okay, like maybe this is just life. And I think that's the entire reason I started navigating between the lines anyway. I wanted somewhere to talk about the stuff that doesn't always fit neatly into a category. Motherhood, friendship, grief, getting older, marriage. I don't really talk about marriage here, but ambition, identity, that giant space between everything's great and everything is terrible, because most of us are usually living somewhere in the in-between on the daily. And I really believe that we're supposed to be talking about it together, which brings me to something that I've been thinking about this week. And I feel like I'm always getting together and having these catch-ups, but like, what if we did a little navigating between the lines community date on Friday? Tomorrow, it would be tomorrow, you guys. Like, come after school drop off if you're around, stay 20 minutes, whatever, show up in workout clothes. I can buy the donuts. You can just like bring your coffee if you want to hang out. So I think that's what I want to do. DM me, like message me. Let's get together. Even if it's one person, it'll be amazing. I think I'm just going into this fall with my 5th and 7th graders. Insanity. And I definitely don't want to be another person telling somebody with younger kids, like, you're going to miss this, because I know, I know. I already miss versions of my kids who are standing right in front of me right now. That's what's been the most interesting. You can love where you are and still miss where you've been. You can be ready for school to start and also feel a little sick when you realize they're walking into another grade. You can be worried about your parents and annoyed that your kid left every cabinet open in the kitchen in the same 5-minute span. Apparently, this is 40. This is the 40 decade. I know it's supposed to be great. I think there's a lot of like feelings in there too. And I don't think the answer is figuring out how to carry it all better by ourselves, even though I love that trait. I started this podcast saying we should be talking about this stuff together. And now I'm sitting here thinking, okay, Maggie, then do that. So Friday morning, as I said, no networking, no name tags, just coffee if you're around, you guys, because I think that's the whole point of this episode. We're all in some version of the middle right now. Different kids, different parents, different shit going on, but it's a whole lot of the same feelings. And I would much rather sit around a table and say, wait, that's you too, than pretending any of us have it all figured out. So that's what I'm going to do. Come join me and we'll see where it goes. I will see you next week, and happy back to school. You made it.